Hey guys, it's xNira, and this is the first episode of my Fire Emblem Sacred Stones Randomizer Let's Play. The kind of details of the randomizer are that the classes are randomized. My units will have randomized classes. It includes lords, thieves, and unique classes. The movement of the units are also randomized between 4 and 9. The enemy movements are also randomized, which I didn't realize when I selected that aspect, so I kind of wish I haven't selected it because it means you basically have to like check every single enemy unit to see how much movement they have, but it makes it kind of more interesting. Enemy growths are also increased by up to 20%, and my units will have randomized growth as well, so there's a variance of 10%. And they have forced minimum growths of 5%, and there's also weighted HP. So, I kind of skip, as if you probably already noticed, I skipped some of the dialogue because I don't like Let's Plays where the person just reads the text. It's like, the audience is not stupid, they can just read what the person says, and unless you can do really good voices, which I can't, or at least I'm not interested in doing, it just seems like a waste of time. So, yeah, I skip a lot of dialogue, and I haven't played all of Sacred Stones. I've only played up until Erica and Ephraim like join forces, and it gives you the option to follow one or the other. So, because I already know the story for the first couple chapters, I'm not interested in reading it. Once we get to where they split, and I think I'm going to follow Ephraim because I like him a lot more than I like Erica, I'll probably actually start reading reading the conversations, because I just don't know. Whereas I'm replaying the beginning part. I've already done that. So yeah. Another thing that you've also noticed is that this recording, the voiceover, was recorded after I did the audio, and I think my computer has a tendency to overheat when I am recording things, when I'm running more than one program at once. So I thought about, I recorded an audio when I actually did this live, but when I went back and listened to it, you can hear my computer just overheating in the background. So I just figured I would try and spare you guys that pain. So you get me talking after the fact, kind of looking back, and yeah, I'm actually really excited that Erica is a recruit, because this is the class that it's kind of like a villager class. It kind of makes her like Donal or Mozu in Awakening or Fates. So she's gonna get an automatic upgrade when she gets to level 10, I believe. Is what the wiki says. Because the class the character that class initially belongs to, I think I do actually. I think Amelia is in... You meet Amelia before... No, it must be after. I think you meet Amelia after you split and you go to Ephraim's, when you follow Ephraim to the capital of Grotto. So, anyways, that was kind of tangential, but I'm really excited that Erica kind of got this class, because it means that with some effort, and she's really going to need a lot of effort because she can't kill anything, she's going to be able to do work, hopefully. So, yeah. Kind of just, this first battle, it was particular. So, just the beginning in general, the beginning of most Fire Emblem games are filled with a lot of axe users, because the main character of, the Lord character in Fire Emblem traditionally wields swords, aside from Hector and Ephraim, and maybe some others that I can't think of. And so obviously they have weapon triangle against the axe users, which means that if you're new to the series, the game is marginally easier, and you might like it more because it's just, easier. And they also kind of have a lower hit rate, axes as a weapon have a lower hit rate, so again it makes it slightly easier at the beginning. And so because both Seth and Erica are lance users, it means that the beginning is kind of hard. But what can you do? Now we're on to chapter 1, and this is when I first realized that enemy movements had also been randomized. Here we see Tana also. She shows on the overworld briefly, so we can kind of guess on what class, and she looks like a cavalier to me, which is great. I really like the cavalier class. It feels very like traditional, like they kind of remind me of like the medieval trope of the errant knight, which I'm a big fan of. So there you can see Erica does absolutely nothing, and Seth is carrying the early game like he normally does. It's kind of unfortunate that he doubles everything, because if he didn't, then Erica could actually come in and pick up some kills, but alas, he doubles everything, so what can you do? Yeah. And then I just park around the forest because whatever. And after the boss talks a little, you'll see, like, so that, like, clearly, traditionally that soldier would not be able to hit you. And I was like, wait, where did it, like, how, like, what the, like, how did that happen? And I was like, oh wait, enemy movement is also randomized. Shit, like, yeah, that soldier also, like, it's like, oh god. So, that was kind of a wake-up call, but I think it kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. I don't know. It seems that the way they did the way they did the randomized movement is that you just have like an equal chance of getting any number between 4 and 9. So it now means like just the average movement of any given unit is higher, because usually it's weighted to just 5, but I think like the average unit has like now 6 or 7 movement, which I don't know how it'll change the game, but it is kind of interesting. The pupil is also, I think, a unique class. I think it's just like a trainee magic class, so it's like the villager, but instead of swords you've got tomes. And because Gilliam comes at level 4, it means that he's kind of like, he's probably going to be pretty good, I think. See, that one's got 8 and 7, like, it's just, oof, scary. But interesting. I think it makes the game more interesting in unusual ways. And I'm, of course, trying to get Erica some experience, but it's not going to work out. I think I end up giving Gilliam this kill because he doubles. I love the animations on Gilliam and Erica. Like, they're just like they kind of like totter around with their weapon as they strike, and it's like it's really cute, and it's like, in some ways I feel like Erica's animation is actually more accurate to her personality, because when she's in her normal award class, she like kind of has this like swift, decisive strike, like she's been fencing for millions of years. But when she has like her regular sprite, and it's like Erica is not really all that experienced, and she only has done like vague sparring lessons with her brother, so it's like, is she really that good of a teacher, or like what happened there? And I think like she's also, because the other thing that like always just blew my mind that like made Erica seem a little like weird is that she's never actually killed anybody, and so like she just like one day decides like she's gonna become like a ruthless murderer to do this, and it's like, I feel like the characters, they try to preserve some hint of their personality. Like they try to like remain like good leaders and honest people and morally sound people, but like no one ever discusses the fact that Erica just goes from being like a sheltered princess to running around and killing people, even though obviously her country has gone through some major turmoil and her father has been murdered. It just seems like very like drastic, and I think this animation kind of maybe fits her personality more, because like when she hits the person with the lance, you see her, she kind of like turns her back on the enemy and runs back to her half of the screen, and it's like, you know, she's not used to fighting. She's just used to sparring friendly, on friendly terms with her brother, and yeah, I don't know. I really like the recruit class for her. It sucks that she's stuck wielding lances against all these X enemies, but what can you do? I think here I end up putting her on the fortress tile because I really want her to get experience. I really want her to level up, and because none of the units here, I think I check to make sure that they don't have any ranged weapons, so that if I park her on the fort, only one will be able to attack her, and she is likely to survive. So yeah. I didn't randomize any of the weapons because that just seemed like super burdenful, because not only would I have to check every unit for their movement, I would have had to check every unit for the type of weapon they're using, which would have been just super annoying. Yeah. I'm a little bummed out that Franz is a priest, because, like I said, I really like the Cavalier class, and, I don't know, I just wish that, he had been a Cavalier. I wish I had some Cavaliers. I really like the class. Like, Stala is one of my favorite Awakening characters, and I really like Perry from Fates. So, I don't know. Gilliam picks up a nice kill here, I believe. He doesn't miss. He misses some attacks later, which kind of bums me out. But, what can you do? Yeah. I think Seth as a, I don't know, so like, in Fire Emblem there's like a couple of like character tropes. I'm sure like everyone already knows this, because everyone seems to be familiar with the series, but, like there's always like the older male figure who comes as a pre-promote, who usually isn't very good, and will get like kind of outscaled by other units in the late game. But, from what I'm told, Seth is actually pretty good throughout the game, which is nice. So, like, Seth is that trope, and then, later on we get the, red and green Cavalier duo. I think Erica gets a kill here. Yay! Erica, but she doesn't level up. She's so close. Yeah. I think, like, part of what is really nice about the Fire Emblem series is that it does have these kinds of reliable character types. Like, the blue-haired lord is, like, nothing new, and, like, the, older pre-promote, and then the two Cavaliers, and then, I feel like recently we've been getting a lot of, like, little sister healers, like, Lissa and Elise and Sakura. And then I think there's also, correct me if I'm wrong, but the, aristocrat healer also is, like, kind of a trope in that Maribel is one, and I think Sarah, Serra, is kind of also in that trope, and, I don't actually think, I can't think of anyone from Conquest who was like that, because Elise is kind of the main healer. Why would you ever want any other healer other than Elise? She's such a good unit. I think Mulder ends up getting the kill on the boss because Erica does 0 damage to him, which, isn't great. Oh, he misses. Does he hit the second one? And he hits the second one. He's got a really aggressive mustache there, man. I never really looked at that very carefully, but, yeah. Gillian levels up. Yay! After I recorded this, I looked up on the wiki the people and recruit classes, and when they hit level 10, they're going to like kind of automatically promote into respectively a mage and a cavalier, I think, if I recall correctly. So the fact that Mulder's already halfway there is really nice. So, yeah. We talk Katana, except it's not very interesting because I skip it. And we're gonna head off to chapter 2, I think. Yeah, 2. King Hayden apologizes. Blah blah blah. And he gives us 2 random units. When I originally like played through the beginning of Sacred Stones, I didn't use Mulder or Vanessa because they have like boring characters. Like Vanessa is like they're just like people that the king gave you to join your army. Like, boring. But here, because Moldar's a thief, and the thief classes are randomized, I'm not guaranteed to get a thief with Colm, and so I think I'm going to use Moldar just because lockpicking is kind of useful, obviously. And then because Vanessa, I kind of thought about, like, I really like the Troubadour class, but because the movement is randomized, like, Franz actually has more movement than she does by a little bit, so it's like, I love the Troubadour class, and I love her sprite, but Franz is just moves, has great movement, so I don't know. And Garcia and Ross are in 2 classes that I love as well, so I kind of want to use both of them, but I don't know. I don't really like Garcia because, like, he's an older guy, and he isn't some, like, cute, young, reasonably aged person, and so I kind of want to use Ross, but I like Myrmidons much more than I like mercenaries, so I don't know. I guess, like, the other thing is that I would have, like, 3 sword users between Moldar, Ross, and Garcia, so I would like to use either Ross or Garcia, and if you have a strong preference, do let me know, because I'll definitely take it into consideration. Because, like, obviously I like Ross more because he's, like, a cuter guy, but on the other hand, I like the Myrmidon class more. Also, I think he has the sprite of Joshua, who is, like, a favorite because he's, like, a dashing gambler, strapping young lad, and he's got a fancy hat. So, look at that animation. I love the Myrmidon animation. It's just so cool. But it's Garcia. I wish Ross had been a Myrmidon and Garcia had been a mercenary. But what can you do? I can't remember if Erica gets a kill. I think Gillian just ends up doing a lot of the work here. God, a vulnerary. I think she just ends up recruiting Ross here and gets healed up. Yeah, I really like that sprite. I just, like, love the art from these games. In some ways, like, I find like the way the battle animations look, like the way it's transition. I really like the transition, whereas, like, in the newer games for Awakening and Fates, it takes, like, the whole screen and moves you around, and I find that very disorienting, whereas this one kind of preserves the overworld in the background, which I really like because it just, like, it makes me less disoriented. Like, sometimes I feel like I almost get car sick from playing Awakening or Fates if I have it battle animations on for too long. So I meant to move him back onto the fortress there, but I just, like, forgot to. I'm using an emulator, so, like, the button controls, I'm not, like, 100% used to them, so I ended up just leaving him on the plains tile, like, for no reason. So, oh well. And then Saffron's off to pick up Garcia. Moldar has a 57% hit rate, but I think he actually is able to hit a surprising amount of his attacks, like, right there. Like, damn, nice job, Moldar. I do have to remember to get him a better sword. I think I end up buying one with Erica, but I don't totally remember. Because right now he's using an armor slayer, and, like, no, he should be using an iron sword, or a steel sword. Yeah. Does he hit the second one? Does he do it? I can't remember. Cut! Oh, no, just kidding. He misses. But I think I pick up the kill with Moldar. Or... no, Erica's not in range, so... And Gillian has a terrible hit rate. So we give it a go with Moldar. And he gets it on his first try. Nice job. I like the thief animations too. In Awakening, I remember Guy as he's holding his sword by the hilt, except instead of having the blade face forward like a normal person, it's facing behind him, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, that's such an inefficient way to hold a sword if you're trying to kill somebody. Like, I don't know. So here I just changed the animations because I don't want to watch the healing animation. because it's tedious. So I just switched everyone to 1 except for the healers. Hopefully you can't hear my computer overheating on this voiceover. It just occurred to me. If you can, I apologize. I'm not going to re-record the whole thing because that's just a little too time-consuming. Does Gilliam? Oh, he doesn't double. Yeah. I wonder. I think the round ends before I can reach the bottom village, which makes me a little sad because whatever was in it, I just missed out on. So here I'm buying an iron sword for Mulder, so that he doesn't use the armor slayer. And Seth is still on his mission to save Garcia and Ross. Ross gets a kill. I like the surprising secret stones are just so fun. Like he's just doing this like giant flip. He's dodging so casually too, it's hilarious. He's just like stepping out of the way, just like leans back, dodges an axe to the face. And Erica again can't do anything, so Gilliam has to. I think Gilliam does pick up the kill. I don't think I use Actually, maybe I do use Mulder. Actually, I think I try to use Erica here, so I'm just gonna have her wait here and hope that the X unit goes after her because she's like, he has weapon triangle advantage against her, but he ends up going after Ross for some reason because it's a sure death, so I don't know why he would do that. Whereas if he'd attacked Erica, he would have survived and done damage, and I don't know. AI is weird, man. But Ross gets a nice level up, and we finished the chapter, and I wasn't able to get to the South Village, so let me know in the comment section what's actually in it. Hopefully I didn't miss out on like a Seraph's Robe or something. So don't forget to leave a comment about Myrmidon Garcia versus Mercenary Ross, or really about any of the other units. I'm more inclined to use Franz over Vanessa as a healer, but I'm open to other opinions, but I do only want to take one healer. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found this interesting enough to want to see more. And if you aren't already subscribed, consider subscribing for more of this Let's Play as well as other games. And for those who are already subscribed, thanks for supporting my channel and watching content other than Fire Emblem Heroes. I really appreciate it.